Well, I'm recording this now in Évora, outside of the Roman temple and the Posada, the convent where I stayed last night. It was wonderful, very restful, in monk cell 109. And I'm recording this right now because as I took pictures in going outside, what is noticeably missing is anxiety. What's noticeably missing is that inner angst that I originally felt when I came here some 55 years ago with my parents. I was homeschooled. God bless my father for taking that sabbatical, and my mom for agreeing with him and then taking me with them. And we traveled through Europe with this Jewish Europe, a forgotten Jew, this guide, and I would sit in the back seat and I'd read about the Jewish communities and places, and we were retracing our heritage. I am from Levite tribe on both my mom and dad's side, and that would determine where we would go, and that was very empowering for me. But what wasn't empowering, I'd read what was in the guide, and then my dad, mom, pretty much my dad, would decide where we would go, and it was always interesting. And many times we would get to a fork at the road, and I just knew where to go. Don't ask me how. I just knew in my gut. So on the way here, we got to a fork in the road. I said, Dad, it's, to the left about 30 kilometers. And he would get so angry at me for, one, being a backseat driver, two, how dare his 14-year-old daughter know and tell him what to do. And he would dafka, he turned right, and and I would be fuming inside, just feeling like, what, does my knowing not matter? I'm trying to help out. I know. I don't know how. I can't explain how. But because I couldn't explain how logically, it wasn't accepted. Or maybe because I was 13, 14 years old, maybe because I was a girl, I don't know. But my voice was discounted and not listened to, not heard. And inevitably, and in this particular day, it was really strong, because I remember, every kilometer I felt more and more uncomfortable, and as I watched him become more and more comfortable and silently fuming and looking at me through the rear view mirror, just enraged with me. And then we get to this city. It's like Inquisition City. There's a huge Jewish population in Évora. And also the seat of the Inquisition court, where 9,000, a lot of cases were tried. And I just feel this in my bones. So I remember coming here, and then we stayed here at the convent, because in, several years, within that last decade, the old convents and monuments had been turned into posadas, into inns, and the dictatorship was still on. So it was this environment of calm on the outside. I remember feeling so safe here on one hand, and yet my body feeling so unsafe if I would speak my truth, like what was happening. And that next morning, I remember we were eating breakfast, and my mom didn't say anything, which just also was so... I do get a little bit of grief right now, comes up, sadness. But today I understand she was just doing the best she could, and she too, dealt with the same dynamics in her life, But there was a moment in the morning where it was just the two of us at the table for a moment, and us having a connection, like this soul connection, and her looking at me like, I understand, I know. And it was like, just so real. It's like, I don't know, one of the moments in my life of my childhood, that I remember a soul connection with my mom, because I didn't have one as a child. It's one of the reasons I returned back to the U.S. It's in my later years. I just feel so grateful to have spent those years with my mom, that we were able to come full circle, and, I was able to have the relationship, and I believe, I know I've spoken about it, that we were both able to have the relationship with one another that we were not able to have when I was growing up. So it's just really remarkable right now that as I took, that I'm here now, that it's such a blessing. The body knows. It's not about sounding good, looking good. Staying in that monk cell last night, it was, the stones, they just speak. So powerful, but speak, as a resonance, as a foundation, as a grounding, as a support, as a foundation for our next level expansion. It begins inside, from the inside out. It begins by stopping and then allowing that silence to guide you to the next step, and that actually is the essence of vagar, which in Europe it's a term for wandering, but more ancient. It's really relates to this, journey. It's like real slow. Look at that, slow trajectory. We're talking about slow tourism. We were here in 1974. Actually, a PS at the end. The most amazing thing happened is that it was 1975, not 1974, because we were here during the revolution, and we went from Évora to Lisbon. And I remember we arrived to Lisbon, and arriving to the main avenue there, and there were tanks parked on the avenue with red carnations. Gives me chills just thinking about it. It's like that the voice actually did win, because how the dictatorship, the peaceful revolution, it was broken through song, and through song, which is from this area, cante altisano. And it really, really astounds me. Really astounds me. That's more than 50 years ago. Talk about vagar. Talk about slow travel. So just know that wherever you are today, if you're feeling something in your body that, you're like a peaceful warrior. That silence is calling you, and your body is calling you. And I don't know whether I'm going to post this or not. I'm doing this for myself, just to mark this moment in my own zeitgeist, in my own history, because we'll be coming back here. I'm going to be focusing on Évora and the healing, towards Évora 2027. Évora has been designated as the European City of Culture, and I cannot imagine a better place than that, because the awakening of these stones is happening, and it's really an honor to be here, and really looking forward to sharing that awakening with others. Others of you who I know are very much aligned with the same concept. So now it's on to the Jewish quarter. I'm just listening, by God, so I don't want my phone on. There's something else there. I don't know. Maybe not. Bye.